and welcome to AutoToday. My name is Abhik and today we're with a not so new car with a not so new engine but a brand new transmission. This is the XUV300 by Mahindra, who have now decided to put in an automated manual transmission or an AMT paired with the turbo-petrol engine. Now, the AMT transmission was available with the diesel engine before, and Mahindra has now decided to pair it with the turbo-petrol engine, and they are a little late to the party. And there are enough reasons for me to not call this a brand new car, because the exterior remains the same as before. So you get a wide body compact SUV shell and styling with gorgeous 17-inch wheels placed at the four extreme corners of the chassis, making for a very sporty stance which is still attractive. It still greets you with bells and chimes that I'm personally not a huge fan of. But it does pack features like automatically opening outside rear view mirrors on the press of the starter button, and that kind of makes me feel like I'm getting my money's worth. And that feeling is further reinforced with this bright interiors and spacious cabin. There's also an extensive feature list to impress you even further. Front parking sensors, dual zone climate control, auto dimming rear view mirror, a sunroof, a 7-inch infotainment system with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and connected car tech thanks to the new BlueSense Plus app, which lets you control various car functions remotely through the convenience of your mobile phone. Now, on the move, the turbo-petrol 1.2-litre engine starts off a little sluggish till it hits 1800 RPM, post which the turbo comes on, and then it offers sprightly performance. Now, in this new variant, the latest addition is this, the automated manual transmission, which uses a 4-axis movement rather than a traditional linear shift pattern. So if you move the shift selector to the left, you can toggle between automatic and manual modes. Up and down is reserved for up and down manual shifts, and if you toggle this selector to the right, you can select reverse, neutral being in the center. It takes a while to get used to, but you do get used to it soon enough. Now, this transmission is a 6-speed unit and it holds on to gears rather than rushing through to shift up ever so frequently, and that's quite a good thing. This engine also develops 200 Newton meters of torque, and that seems ample enough not to warrant kickdowns for overtakes, and if the need does arise, then it doesn't shy away from kicking down a couple of gears to offer you better acceleration. Switching to manual mode is not as engaging as you'd hope it to be, because there's an evident delay in commanding a shift and the transmission actually executing that shift. So I'd recommend you to use automatic mode most of the time. In fact, in automatic mode, at slower city speeds, you won't even notice the near seamless shifts that this transmission has to offer. And it's only when you mash the throttle that the latency in shifts becomes a little more apparent at higher RPMs. Now, the XUV300's ride quality is something to talk about, because the ride quality is comfortable and at the same time, it's as sporty as you'd want a car of this segment to be. Mahindra has achieved that with using a supple damping which absorbs the road undulations like much more expensive cars, while the stiffer springs help it corner really flat and with confidence with ample grip in reserve. The steering, however, is a little vague, and you can toggle through this switch on the dashboard which lets you select between 3 modes that weight up the steering, but it doesn't really improve on its feedback and its quickness. Still a good feature to have, as comfort mode helps you negotiate through parking lots a lot easier, and if you select sport, it'll help you drive faster and safer during highway sprints. But, and there is always one, but there are some things that the XUV300 falls short of. For instance, this cabin does use good quality plastics, but then the whole layout seems more than a decade old, especially with these buttons around the aircon as well as the orange backlit LCD panel. Then there is this aircon vent which even at full tilt throws most of its air onto your left hand, and it does miss out majorly on modern features like wireless charging or even USB ports, aircon vents and a 12-volt socket for the rear passengers, none of which are available. And then there's the boot, or rather the lack of it. At 257 litres, there are hatchbacks that can offer more space. Until an all-new XUV300 comes along, these missing features may never be updated in this car, which means Mahindra has already settled for a lower standing in this hotly contested segment. It still manages to have enough things going for itself for you, the buyer, to consider it amongst its competition. Mahindra is definitely offering another choice, and we're expecting it to be priced around the 12 lakh rupees mark for the top of the line W8 option pack trim. Now that does make it pretty pricey compared to the competition. But what do you think of the XUV300 in this new variant? Would you consider it amongst the newer cars in this segment? Let us know in the comments below and smash that subscribe button for the latest news and reviews of the latest cars and motorcycles. This is Abhik signing off.